welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel that talks about the different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak and Joel Parcon, and with me, as always, is Juxtapotito Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
Well, I think we misintroduced ourselves. You are Jeff Probst, and I am random Survivor player.
Yeah, so I'm Jeff Probst. I'm wearing a polo shirt that it's actually I don't know if it shows on the screen, but it's actually purple, just also to signify that I'm part of the merged tribe, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm just generic Survivor player. Might as well be like pre-boot or pre-merge boot. Anyway,
Anyway, tonight we will give our thoughts about season 47, episode 7, entitled Our Pickle on Blast. But before we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, you can always go to wherever you get your podcasts and search for Council of Titos. And so, without further ado, let's begin. So, our pickle on blast for you, Zhao, is it continuing the trend of so far improving episodes?
um, yeah, I guess. I mean, it was this is actually a pretty divisive episode, as it turns
Mm,
out.
yeah,
Some people were really into it, and others like not at all. I guess it depends on how much you like Soul.
true, true. And the two of us do like Saul, so I guess that we like this episode.
Yeah. It's just, like people talking about the advantage and like the hand
Mm,
of production. It was, but I have thoughts on that. But yeah, it's a pretty Saul-centered episode, and your mileage may vary depending on whether or not you like Saul, because that was um a Saul-focused episode in the same way that the previous episode was a Rome-focused episode.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we already mentioned that you have thoughts about the hand of production. Do you want to share with the rest of us? What are your thoughts on the hand of production about the forcing that advantage on the losing group?
Well, if he didn't find it, it wouldn't have been a problem, or it wouldn't have
Mm,
been an advantage. So like there's there's that. And I think it was a lot of it was kind of being results oriented, right? Um because it was like obviously it was an immunity, but then what if the tribes had shaken out differently? If it were the reverse and um the tribe with the 3-3 split was the one that went to tribal, and all of a sudden the block vote becomes a lot more of an interesting advantage to play as opposed to just like, all right, peace out.
mm-hmm.
Because if you peace out in a 3-3 situation, you're leaving your two allies um and just stuck with the wolves, and that's, definitely a loss. Um so, yeah, sure, hand of production might be quite heavy, but it was it could have gone in a number of different ways, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's when it's okay, right? It doesn't seem as sort of railroaded
Mm.
as some of the other advantages. I'm looking at you, Hourglass.
Yeah, of course. At least they took out that hourglass, the shillelagh of time. Finally,
But we did
uh,
go back in time.
yeah, we sort of did go back in time. But yeah, well, personally, because I also kind of thought that the advantage was a little, how do you say that? I was a little confused. I was a little confused by a couple of
Mm.
things in this episode, actually. But yeah, when talking about the advantage, at first I thought it was Saul who chose what advantage was Rachel was gonna get.
Mm.
But yeah, when I rewatched it, I did hear that it's Rachel who chose
Yeah.
the type of advantage that she was gonna choose, that she was gonna play. So I guess, yeah, if you do have it in the group with a 3-3 split, uh yeah, whoever receives the advantage, let's say for example, who would have gotten it in the, which were they? They were the yellow group, right? Uh
Yeah.
yeah, depending also on who got it and who found the advantage from the yellow group, that's gonna change whoever's gonna receive it. Because if it was Rachel, she's sure to give the advantage to one of the gata, right? Or
Well, well.
or yes, of course, since she is at the bottom of the gata group, she might give it to the
Red tribe.
the red tribe, the Lavo,
Yeah,
right?
lava.
The Lavo group. Yeah, right. It kind of depends. Yeah. Would they have used? Yeah, they probably would have used the block whose ever vote it was on yeah to get their number. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I've read how not just even the advantage, but the fact, and this is coming from, again, I just rejoined the official Pinoy Survivors fandom, because for some reason or another, Meta disabled or suspended my social media because supposedly, well, one of my public Instagram profile was against community standards. For those of you who know how that could happen, even though I did not really post anything, I only post stories. This is becoming a rant page, rant section. But yeah, and it suddenly all of a sudden my profile was going against community standards. And I'm back in OPSF, and some OPSF members ranted about how they didn't like that in this episode the merged tribe was split into two again.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like,
That's yeah.
yeah, but then again, it has happened in previous seasons. It's in
Yep,
the same season that Franny lost Matty, right?
yep.
And it was practically the same kind of challenge. They were split into two groups, and whoever would win the would get some form of immunity. But it's just I actually liked. That's the other thing that I got confused about
Mhm.
in this episode. Uh, the fact that, okay, I was like thinking, okay, so why does Kyle have individual immunity
Yeah.
when they lost? And I was like it took me a couple of minutes to realize when I went back and then heard Jeff say that the final person on the losing tribe will get individual immunity. For you, do
Yeah.
you think that that was right? That was a good thing, a good twist to add uh, for the final person on the losing tribe to also get individual immunity. In your thinking, what did Jeff and production want to happen by giving the last person standing on the losing tribe individual immunity?
Well, first, I would just like to say that they should probably just do like a tribe swap
Okay.
instead of merging and then splitting them up. Like you don't really need to, you know, merge and then split them up when um the mechanism of a tribe swap already exists within the game if that's kind of what they want to do. Uh, so, you know, there's that. Um, hmm. But as to the mechanic of, as to Kyle getting the immunity necklace, I guess I want to get as much mileage as possible out of that, like really cool looking immunity necklace. Because had this not been,
Mm.
had this not included that, they wouldn't have been able to give anybody that immunity necklace. And the team worked really hard on making that immunity necklace.
I suppose so, yeah. Again, it looks really good as it is. As soon as you put it on someone, it kind of changes because
Yeah.
it starts looking like a an American football protective pad. The one that they put on their
Yeah.
shoulders. Yeah, shoulder pads or whatever you call that. Armor.
Or maybe Kyle is just too skinny.
Probably. If it had if Saul would, let's see, when Saul wins the immunity necklace, and that's a win, not an if. We'll see how it looks on him. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I get it. So that's, yeah. It doesn't really have any other purpose as just just to give. the immunity necklace a little bit more mileage, I suppose.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Once Upon an Island, where uh he mentioned that if you look at all of the available like advantages in the game, there was a non-zero chance that everybody was going to be immune.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
How
mean, not
about?
not not with the current configuration,
Yeah,
but
oh,
with all
yeah,
of the idols that have been
yeah.
given out and all of that. Like there was a there was a chance from sort of the conception of the game that everybody would be immune tonight because you have half of the people immune, you have the
One
peace out
person.
advantage, you have
Yeah.
yes, and at least four idols have been given out.
Oh, have there been four idols given out? There were the one from each beach, right? One from each
Yeah.
beach, and if they had gotten it to the point where it would last until the final five, so it would last longer. What was the other idol that was given out?
Oh no, that was one of the three, no? So there
Right.
was a
Yeah, yeah,
chance. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
the
the
Power
amulet, the
Rangers idol,
amulet.
the
Yeah.
amulet, the amulet.
Oh, hmm. So four, and then you, yeah. What would have happened?
Right?
That's
Right?
right.
Like from the game design standpoint, there was a possibility that everybody would be safe tonight. I mean, a tiny possibility,
Yeah.
but a possibility
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Like you said, it's a non-zero chance. Yeah. Wow. What would have happened if that? What would Jeff have done if that happened? No vote out tonight, right?
And two people going home next time.
That's probably, you know.
And I'm
Mm,
sure that it's in like some document somewhere because like standards and practices requires that sort of thing to be spelled out.
mm. True, true. What if, yeah, what if there is a tribal where everyone is immune? Yeah, I guess I suppose that would be the closest contingency that they'd have, right? To make the next tribal a double elimination.
Or the other thing that I would do, and
Mm.
and I think this would be more fun, and this is something that I think Jeff would like, is instead of everybody being safe, okay, since everybody is immune, nobody's immune.
The immunities negate each other, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and
And what happens to the safety without power? The
that's the
person
only
comes back.
person that's safe
Oh, okay. The person
because
comes
like
back.
they get to leave, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's like a regular tribal council.
Before any advantage, any other advantages, because all of the
Yeah,
other advantages have to be played once the votes have been placed. Yeah.
yeah, or when the votes are being read.
Yeah.
So it would be like it would basically be like going to rocks, except instead of going to rocks, you have a crazy live tribal.
Well, this did have sort of a crazy life tribal, especially when after Rachel pieced out, right? She very much survived the locked out in the swap screw, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was what's it? This is a better version of what happened to the tribe with Jam Jam in it, right? There was like a pseudo swap
Mm,
or like a really dumb swap that they had that season,
mm,
and there was a use once idol for everybody that uh was potentially swap screwed.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was like basically production saying, no, you're not going to, you're basically immune. Um, but with this one, there are more things that can go wrong for the person that's swap screwed. So
Mm,
if nobody found the advantage on the reward, then swap screwed. If the person that found the advantage wasn't an ally, then swap screwed. Unlike 45, 40, yeah, like 45, 44, Jam Jam season,
mm, yeah.
where like it was basically an idol gifted to the person that swapped over. So
Yeah, that was uh who was that? The doctor who said he wasn't a doctor,
yeah.
right? The yeah, got swapped into Jam Jam's tribe, and it was the kid. It
Mm.
was Tom Holland who got swapped out to
Yeah.
to another tribe. Yeah.
Let me take a look. It was Josh. It was
Josh.
Josh
There you go.
that was handed an idol. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, this was. I think I would like to think that this way. I mean, it's not. It's not like well, it's still a gift, but there is sort of a little bit of uncertainty in the sense that whoever found first things first, someone had to find the advantage. Uh, and I would like to commend Survivor for bringing back an advantage during a reward, right? Not during the reward challenge, but during the reward. I've been
Yeah.
asking for it for the I mean, right? For the past couple of episodes. And finally, they put an advantage in the reward. And so that's one thing that's pretty uncertain. The second is that person would need to give it to the person who was swap screwed, basically,
Mm.
right? Because what would how yeah it had, say for example, Teeny been the one to find it, are we sure that she was gonna give it to Rachel? Had it been Genevieve who found it, would she give it to Rachel? Right? It's although yes, the numbers do. If people are thinking in numbers, they do want the Tuku tribe to get diminished in number,
Mm.
but there's again the dynamics weren't isn't really that clear yet.
Mm.
Yeah, only Saul was like, okay, Saul was really dead set on giving it to Rachel. But even in his testimonial, his confessional, he wasn't really quite sure yet if he was gonna give it to Rachel.
I'm pretty sure he was gonna give it to Rachel.
You are,
I'm
you
pretty
are.
sure. I'm pretty sure he was gonna give it to Rachel. It was just for the drama. Like the
Yeah.
producer probably asked him, but what would be your counter argument if you were to
Oh.
tell yourself? You know, you can prompt,
Hmm.
you can have those sorts of prompts, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we did see that with Caroline before, right?
Yeah.
She was getting prompted. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this was, I think that this was a better mechanic to help those who were getting swap screwed.
Yeah.
And the swap screw didn't it it was a swap screw that happened by chance, right? Who would have thought that the six people, six out of six people, five would actually come from one tribe, right? You know, who would have thought that that would happen?
Yeah. Yeah. And so when they when it essentially became like a Tuku tribal council
Mm,
after Rachel decided to peace out, uh the only thing that the only thing that came to mind, or the thing that came to mind really was like, all right, this is the hourglass.
mm,
This is like the hourglass without being an hourglass. They
mm-hmm.
went back in
Yeah,
time.
they went back to when they were just Tuku and they lost an immunity challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it makes sense. It makes sense that we see uh all of the like tribe dynamics, that they really focused in on the tribe dynamics of Tuku,
Mhm,
even up until like mergatory, because yeah, it still played quite an important role
mhm.
in, you know, the post merge part, even though I do agree this shouldn't be the merge really. It should just be like
They're all in
I
one
don't know.
beach.
Yeah, yeah, like a one world sort of
Yeah,
situation.
because that would also make the amulet make sense, sort of, right?
Yeah.
Because they keep on saying in the this has happened also before. There was also an advantage where it would gain power once they're all in the same beach. They keep on having that phrase
Hmm.
when everyone is in the same beach, right?
Yeah. So if they can
So,
just stretch that out a little bit longer than like one day,
mm-hmm.
and none of them are on the jury,
Hmm.
right? None of them are on the jury. So like in my mind, the most like elegant thing is the jury starts once the merge hits.
Yeah. If you
Like
get to
now
the
we have,
merge, you're part of the
yeah,
jury. Yeah.
yeah, but now we have like a premature merge.
And then we
So
have that one person who, yes, they made the merge, but sad they don't make the jury. Yeah.
yeah. So like I don't know, to me I have nothing wrong with how the game played out, right?
Mm,
Like a lot of people when they talk about this speak about it as though it's a problem with the game mechanics.
mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a problem with the game mechanics. You can play the exact same game but just call it a different thing.
Mm,
You know, it's like how you know it's redefining stuff, you know.
true. 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 Yeah. Well, it is that is sort of the central thing that has divided the fandom on this episode. But yeah, overall, I still like the episode.
Yeah.
But mostly because of the fact that it gave our boy, well, two of our guys, no,
Yeah.
Saul had
Yeah.
agency in this episode, and then Andy, we started. I mean, it's been brewing the past couple of episodes, but Andy's revenge slash redemption tour seems to be on deck. Right? We start the episode with both those guys talking, because it was Saul who placed Andy's name. So they talk, and then they come up with the agreement. Okay, we're gonna go after Gata. Right? We're gonna go after Gata, and then Genevieve enters the fray. Right? I also like the fact that Genevieve is sort of
Yeah.
with Andy, so that makes them three. And actually now, since Saul saved Rachel, there's gonna be four of them, right?
Yeah. Although there is no way, there is no world where, um, well, actually, I don't know because well, a couple of things. First, my wife was like laughing at me,
Mm.
and it was like when we were watching the episode, I was like, "Oh, this is it, Andy, Andy," and she's like, "So, when is this Andy redemption arc that you keep on speaking of gonna happen?"
Yeah, because he was the first to drop in the challenge,
Right?
right?
I was like, all right. And he's like, where's the redemption arc? You keep saying it's gonna happen. We gotta have faith.
We gotta have faith. We gotta have faith. Again, the next time on did sort of allude to him finally getting things rolling.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
I
then
think that
so did last week.
yeah,
Like so did last week. Last week's next time on also made it look like Andy was going to get things rolling, like he was gonna make some sort of big move.
yeah. But this time though, we have like a slow mo of him walking, right? But I think that this is like the origin story of his redemption, because he is starting to find his tribe, his quote unquote
Yeah.
tribe, right? He's got Saul. All right, at the very least, Saul and him sort of think the same way, or yeah, who they want out, and then Genevieve is also in the group. She's with Andy. Her connection to that duo is Andy, and then yeah, and then if Saul, this is actually something I want to ask you about in a little bit.
Yeah.
If Saul tells Rachel that it was him who gave her the advantage, she's going to be part of that group. So there's going to be, how many are left? There's 11 left, right? So there's going to be
Mm.
four, and then they can rope in so Teeny maybe to try and vote out uh, Sam and Sierra, because both Rachel and now Andy uh, have beef with them, sort of, right?
Yeah, I can see Rachel joining them, but
Mm-hmm.
not because of Saul.
Ooh.
What I think should happen, and I think what Saul should do,
Mm-hmm.
is continue playing dumb. Like, whoa, that was so cool. Who was it? Whoa. Right. And then like right at the very end, at Final Tribal, and like the top three is like the top three involves like Saul and Rachel.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
Saul does his big mic drop, like the reason you're here is because I played that advantage on you.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm.
So I
Yeah,
don't
actually, that
know.
was what I was gonna ask you about.
Yeah,
Do
so
you
that's what
think
I was
that
saying.
there
Like,
was
yeah,
wisdom in Saul's not owning up to the advantage?
yeah, it puts a target on his back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you have people put targets on people have gotten targets put on their backs for much less,
Mm.
you know.
True.
So like yeah, the way I would play it if I were in my right mind would be to like hold it off up until the very end in case I make it to final tribal, and that's like the big mic drop moment, and it becomes even more powerful if Rachel is there.
Yeah. Do we call it the Marianne O'Ketch moment?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's this Marianne moment.
So yeah, okay, all right. I can see the wisdom in that because I do have a friend who asked me, well, who told me that if he had been in Saul's position, he would actually own up to the advantage there and then. But then again, in this era, you said, yeah, like you said, people have gotten targets put on their backs for less, and in this era of if you have something, tell everyone, right?
Yeah,
He subverts that thinking, that philosophy, by holding it, keeping it a secret, right? Because if he had just suddenly owned up to the advantage there and then, that would have been a big target on his back.
yeah,
Because when he got the advantage, he probably should have told, at the very least, Andy right away, because they already have a sort of agreement that they're going to work together, right?
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, that I get the thinking. Yeah, that's true.
Or
That's
if
right.
he wants to like build trust with Andy, he just pulls him aside and says, "Yo, that was me,"
Mm,
right? Because like, um, what's it? They tell everybody, everybody knows, but like another powerful thing in Survivor is being able to tell something to one person is a show of trust.
mm,
You know, like
mm.
nobody else knows about this except you,
Yeah.
right? So, that's another thing that Saul can pull with it.
Yeah, but then again, we've seen how Andy isn't doesn't really quite know how to hold back, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Whenever he
yeah,
knows something. And yes, while they do have an agreement, Saul and Andy have an agreement that they're going to work together. They've been on the same beach for what, 3 days?
mm,
Saul doesn't really quite know Andy, and from the information that he's gotten, probably from the rest of the Gata tribe, he's not that he's not too trustworthy, or he's not that good a secret keeper,
yeah,
probably,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that probably also played into his whole decision. But then again, we're talking in probabilities. We don't really quite know, not until like Saul wins or it gets voted out, and then
yeah,
he gets the interview, the exit interview.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the other thing when when you brought that up of that alliance. Like I'm sure that Rachel is going to be on board, but it's not going to be because of Saul. Because if Saul is playing it properly, he's not telling anybody.
Ooh. So it will be Andy bringing her in to try and exact revenge on Sam and Sierra.
Basically, yeah.
Ooh, that'd be
I
cool
yeah, I think, and I think that's the smarter move for,
for
well,
Saul.
yeah, for Saul, for Andy, for
Mm-hmm.
Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
uh, for Genevieve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically that four, that is becoming the core four here.
Mm.
Yeah.
At least from our point of view. From our
From our
point of
point of
view.
view, yeah, because the other core four would be the blue four, right?
Yeah.
You've got Kyle, Gabe, Sue, and Caroline.
and even that's about to fall apart.
Yeah, yeah. And what are your thoughts on that? How that's shaking out?
That's not a four. That's a two and two. Or
Mm,
rather, that's a three and one. That's a
a
three
three
and
and
one.
one. Kyle is on the outs, right?
Yeah, Kyle is
Yeah.
the one on the outs. So you know, if Kyle is smart, he's jumping ship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was actually leaning towards voting with Tiana, right?
Yeah,
We had that subtitle where it was him and Caroline talking.
yeah,
And even Caroline had that really that she has one of the most expressive faces in this season, right? She
yeah.
had that when remember when Rome was doing his crocodile tears. I actually thought of making that our thumbnail for that episode, where she had that uh pity look on her face for Rome, and then here when when she was getting confused with everything that was happening, she wears everything on her face. She doesn't have a. I think that she can achieve a poker face, but when push comes to shove, it's hard for her to keep a poker face. Yeah. But
Actually,
yeah.
Blue Tribe is very expressive,
Mm, yeah.
at least like facially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they know how to make faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Sue.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, Sue can hardly keep things under wraps. I mean, she gets so paranoid about everything.
yeah,
But yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. And I think that I actually think that that was part of the requirements for this season. They really wanted people who wanted to make big moves. They wanted people to, because we've heard all about it, right? Give the biggest expressions, the loudest expressions during the announcement of rewards, and you'll get camera time, right?
yeah.
And all of these things. That's been what we've been hearing in all of the in on social media. Uh, yeah. Now, speaking of social media, I don't know if you've seen how I went on Twitter a couple of days ago. That was my social media that did not get suspended. Uh, and apparently there is this thing going on where
There's beef,
Gabe,
right?
yeah, there's beef.
Beef,
Gabe
beef, beef, beef.
is like continuing trying to be a villain on Twitter, on X, right? He's like trolling on Rome, trolling on whoever it is that he can troll on after each episode. What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
It's one of those casts, huh? It's like, the new era casts for the most part have been like nice and civil, with the
Mm,
exception maybe of uh I
uh,
don't know. The previous one, right?
was it the previous? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
V
the previous
Venus.
cast with
Yeah.
Venus and
Uh
like
huh.
with Charlie and Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And well, and
yeah.
then the supposedly the fight that happened between in where that took away Ponderosa.
Ponderosa, yeah. What's the name? Omer and Andrea.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for the most part, like, you know, they're all kind of nice to each other.
Yeah.
But I guess this is gonna be one of those casts because of like Rome and Gabe.
Mm, true. Do you think that it's sort of an act so that either Rome or Gabe gets like additional eyes on them to so that they can probably be invited back for 50?
Or it could be Gabe trying to get more people to check out his radio show, and Rome trying to
Oh,
get more people to tune into his esports broadcast. What
esports.
is he?
I don't even know what sport. I we should probably look. I should probably look into that, right?
Probably like League of Legends or something.
Probably. I don't know what is hip. Wow, I'm using such an old word. What's the fad? That's still old. what's the in thing for in the US right now in terms of esports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a
Mm.
friend who's like in the esports industry, and he says that here in the Philippines it's
It's
basically
Mobile
anything
Legends.
mobile. Yeah. Because it's
It's
mobile.
yeah. Well, it's basically Mobile Legends because we're like the best at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, he says that that's also because here in the Philippines, uh the players or yeah, people who will like to play games don't necessarily have the resources to build a big rig, right?
Mm,
That's why they don't really go for the laptop or the PCs or the not everyone can afford a PS5, say for example, but
yeah.
everyone can afford a
Everybody has a
mobile
mobile
phone.
phone.
Yeah, everyone has a mobile phone that can play games, right? And play mobile
Yeah.
games. So yeah, anyway, we are
Oh,
becoming.
Rocket League. He does a lot of
Oh,
Rocket League.
what is Rocket League? The yeah.
The game where it's basically soccer, but then like you have cars.
Oh,
It's
oh,
fun. It's a really
okay.
cool game.
Okay,
It's
I'll try and see if I can find a broadcast with Rome. I'd like to see if he has one.
um he has a Liquipedia page, so
What
that's
is a Wikipedia page? My God, what is that?
right. It's what's it? It's like an esports Wikipedia,
Oh,
basically.
okay, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was back in the day. Back in the day, there was a site called Team Liquid, which was um basically a StarCraft forum. And then StarCraft was like one of the first esports.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up having Liquipedia for StarCraft builds, or a wiki, what they called
Oh,
Liquipedia for like StarCraft builds and stuff. And eventually they just started expanding out. So now they have wikis for like everything.
mm-hmm.
They have a Wikipedia. They have a Wikipedia page for EA Sports.
Are there still any what's Madden? Yeah, I guess
Yeah, and people
it's
still
still alive.
play. What's it? People still play that the football game.
Yeah, that's it. Madden. Oh, no, yeah, FC.
Sorry, soccer FC. Yeah.
Yeah, FC. Yeah. Well, actually,
Um.
that's something that I'd
Yeah.
like to get soon if it goes on sale on Steam.
Hmm.
Yeah, I recently got it's an EA game as well. I recently got Star Wars Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor because Survivor it connects. uh yeah, because they went on sale. I got both titles for less than 2,000 pesos together, right? So I
Hmm.
am currently on Fallen Order, and once I finish that, hopefully I finish that, I'll move on to Survivor.
I want to
Uh,
play the old Survivor PC game from the early 2000s.
there was one,
Yeah, it was like really bad apparently, but it exists. It's a
but
thing that
yeah,
exists.
apparently there is one now. Apparently there is one
Really?
now. Or at the very, I think that it's coming out soon. I don't remember where, what platform, either in PlayStation or on the Switch, but there is one coming out.
Oh. There was one for like PlayStation 5?
I
Survivor
guess. Yeah,
Castaway Island from
that's it.
October
And
2023.
yeah, that's it. Okay, it already came out. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was like a really old one from Survivor, the interactive game was
Oh,
released
really?
in 2001.
So what was it? Was it like Mist, where you're on an island and you're trying to figure things out? For those of
You get to
you.
play as any of the players in from the first two seasons. So
Oh, so you actually play, you role play as one of them. Okay.
yeah, you get to play as Rudy and all of that stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. Any other thoughts that you have about this episode?
Uh Andy redemption arc begins
Eh,
now.
exactly. Exactly. And to Ling, Zhao's wife, yes, we believe. We believe that it is starting soon, and it is coming out. Yeah. Oh, I have one thought. I have one thought. This episode, because we've been, I mean, we in previous episodes and previous discussions that we've had, we've always thought, okay, you know what, the and this probably fits more in the whose line is it actually. So yeah, I'll save that for later. But what are your thoughts about the Survivor auction coming out again?
I hope it isn't as bad as last time they did it. Because the last time they did it was just ugh.
They have to change things up a bit. So because again, because the survivors, the castaways, are starting to notice how it's being played or how it
Yeah.
comes out. They've devised strategies around how to bid for stuff, right?
Yeah, so probably just keep it simple, you know, like no advantages and
Mm,
no stupid twists,
mm.
just food.
Yeah.
And if you don't use any of the money, you can keep it. You
Ooh,
know? Like
that's
I
nice.
always thought that that's how it was back in the day.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't know, but like that was the impression that I got.
Mm, okay.
Like, all right, I might not win $1 million, but I have like 50
500.
bucks. Like, here's 50 bucks to take my family to, I don't know,
In and out. I don't know.
Outback Steak.
Outback Steakhouse. Yeah, that's true.
Or yeah, I don't know.
That's true. That's true. Okay, yeah. That prediction or that thought about there being no advantage in the auction, that leads us to our prediction section, starting with whose line is it actually? So, for the first time in 3 episodes, the the model does not work.
Yeah.
So it was Tiana.
I'm still gonna go by it though. So
Oh, see, for this next week, he's all that. You're gonna say that it's Saul?
yes,
Oh, okay, all right, all
I'm
right.
gonna I'm gonna stick to the bit.
So yeah, so the title of the next episode is "He's All That," and so you've got it on record that you're saying it's gonna be Saul. Is he gonna? Who is he talking about himself? Is he talking about someone else?
Talking about Sam.
Talking about Sam. Ooh, okay, all right.
Yeah, he's out here saying that he's all that.
Oh, oh, okay. All right. I can see how that can happen. Well, for me, my thing is that I think that it is going to be Genevieve.
Mm,
And this comes into play because of the whole, this is Andy's redemption slash revenge arc starting to happen. So, because Genevieve is she has a very tactical and very strategic mind, and then you mix her with Andy, and she sees how crazy Andy becomes at times, and then she blurts out, "He's all that," right? And because also we want that this will be like Andy's the revenge arc really coming out there.
yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's Genevieve talking about Sam. For you, it's Saul talking about. I sorry. For me, it's Genevieve talking about Andy, and then for you, it's Saul talking about Sam.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Speaking of Andy and Sam, I actually think that again, sticking to the whole thing, the line of thinking that this is going to be Andy's revenge arc, he gets his first hit, and I
Mm,
think it's gonna be Sam. I think
yeah.
it's gonna be Sam. Yeah.
Do you think there's gonna be a? You think the girls' alliance is going to materialize?
There is a chance that Genevieve and or Rachel will use it for therefore
Mm.
use the all girls alliance to take out Sam, right?
So this is
So
gonna be like If it's a girl alliance, that's going to be how Sierra turns on Sam.
Yeah, because I mean it's bound to happen. They're like the closest duo left, right?
Yeah,
Well, aside from Sue and Caroline, but Sue and Caroline,
and Gabe, that's a
there's
trio.
a trio. Yeah, yeah. But then again, Gabe doesn't really have a good relationship with Caroline. His thing is really with Sue. So
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, it could be. It could be. This could be like the when Sierra is forced to go against Sam because we have been getting crumbs on how Sierra wants to differentiate herself from Sam's gameplay, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't want to keep on following. She wants to also make her own moves. Yeah. And yeah, I'm going with your thought as well. I do hope and I do think that there's going to be no advantage in the auction. It's going to be all food. Really good ones like steak and really sucky ones like balut
Bugs.
and bugs. Yeah.
And then there was
Right.
like an extended version of the next time on that showed like bugs. So it's
Oh,
gonna be a
really?
thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or it might be okay. It could also be like, the reward or the auction will be all good food and then probably letters from home. That might be like the whole thing. Like the special item because you always have to have some sort of special item, right? And then on the other side of it, you get really good food. And then for the immunity challenge, you have to eat bugs.
Although it was on the previous zone, he pulled up.
Oh, he pulled up. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
was one of the covered items and then bugs.
Mm. Okay. So yeah,
But
so
yeah,
that will be part of it. So yeah.
yeah.
And I'm currently on the Kyle as a challenge beast uh wagon. So I do think that he's gonna get his third immunity in a row.
Ooh.
Yeah. What about you? Any predictions that you have for this next episode?
I think you got most of what I was thinking. I'm still gonna say Andy immunity run again, copium, right?
Uh-huh.
At the moment he clutches out like one immunity,
Hmm.
which is probably gonna happen, right? He clutches out one immunity on his way to victory. I'll be like, there it is!
There it is.
And he
Finally.
challenged Beast.
Going back to what I was saying, that I had a thought about it was more along the lines of whose line is it actually for me, because we kept on saying that in previous episodes in previous seasons where this episode could have been called this or that or this or that. For me, this
Mm,
episode could actually have been titled "And Me." Right, that would have been a cute
mm.
episode title for this, right? Compared to our pickles on blast. I don't even know what that means. So "And Me" would have been like a nice title to encapsulate this episode. That it was, yeah, it was Rachel feeling left out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe we should do maybe we should title our episodes like that, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll do
Like
that
how
for this one. I'll put an so we'll have that whole thing, but then "And Me"
yeah,
for the vote.
what's his name? What's the name does that basically? Uh uh No Buffs does that
Oh
basically.
really? I actually don't. I don't
Like
get
their
the reference.
titles are well, the titles aren't quotes from the show,
Mm.
but their titles are,
Yeah,
you know,
they're sort they it's sort of their thoughts and basically
yeah.
their overall thoughts on it. So yeah, so ours will be, yeah, it's what we think the title should have been.
Or
Right.
maybe we could just have that as a regular section on the show.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we
have that as
could.
a regular section. What the
Yeah.
title should have been,
So
and
after,
me.
yeah, what the title should have been, "And Me." Whose line is it actually? And then what line should have should have been the title or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have any better titles for that section of our show, please do comment uh, what you think it should be. All right. So let's move on to survivors of the week. I think that we are of the same thought because you already said that you're sticking to it with whose
Yeah,
line is it
sticking to
actually?
the bit.
Yeah. Castaway of the week is Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually a toss up between Saul and Andy, but it
Mhm.
was like, let's just say 70-30 Saul. You know? If they'd carried on with the momentum of Andy from the beginning of the episode, then it would have been Andy's
Mhm.
episode. But you know, Saul was just
Yeah.
Saul.
He well, Andy tried looking for the advantage. He didn't find it. It was Saul who found it. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they actually started in the same spot. Like it was Saul and Andy clearing the air, right?
Yeah.
And then finding the advantage, looking for the advantage. Andy didn't find it. Saul did. And then for me, that's number two. And then number three, that award-winning acting during
Yeah.
during tribal. I remember I showed you like what one of the other options that I was choosing for the thumbnail, and if you noticed in that freeze frame, everyone was so intently looking at the voting tribe, and then Saul was just like, he was like, meh, putting on his stupidest face, the stupidest
I,
version, right?
yeah. You know, you should make the thumbnail your face doing like the Saul face.
No, I think that what we chose, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Compared to, but yeah, I just noticed it now because maybe this is also the first time that we've had people sitting in the jury area.
Uh-huh.
The lighting in that area is pretty good,
Yeah, it has to be, right? Like,
right? Yeah.
you know, like as a consolation prize, like, you got kicked off the game, but we're going to make you look amazing on the
Mm-hmm.
jury bench, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
we talk about this. We talk about this whenever somebody goes on the jury. We're like, "Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, they look so good."
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
after being, after like freshening up and all of that, like, yes, like this is why he's or she's been cast. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have the beauty of a model. Like,
and and I think that it just got highlighted now because they haven't freshened up and they still look good.
yeah, exactly.
Right? So yeah, that's our castaway of the week, Saul. Let's go to
Yeah.
goat of the week. Who's your goat of the week?
I'm gonna break from tradition, and I'm
Mm.
gonna break our rule and say that it's Tiana,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because like she was completely skunked this episode. Like
Mm-hmm.
um she was done dirty this episode. You know, it was like just like an unceremonious you know.
Yeah, whereas last week with Rome, he was sort of given his flowers in the sense that okay, he got the opening line previously on Survivor, and
Yeah,
then yes, all throughout the episode we all already knew that they were going to vote him out, but then in the end he got to sit on Jeff's stump, right?
yeah,
Seat, his stool. So there was that sort of, it wasn't all bad,
yeah,
but then with this one, yeah, you're right. Tiana was really like, I don't know, no sort of happy thought about it. And especially with her giving that answer right before pandemonium struck, right?
yeah,
The debates, she called it debates. And she was like, she was saying that she was practically saying how it was going to feel for her, right?
yeah. And still they like I don't know. It was like and this is also partly like why I'm bullish on Andy, apart from him being our canonical winner pick. they didn't show the secret scene where he was like, "Oh, I always get picked last," and
Mm,
he got picked last.
mm-hmm.
Like this is the opposite of that. Oh, I want to make the jury. You don't
You
make the
don't make the
jury,
jury.
and it's like on and it's on TV,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. It's
Whereas with
canon,
Andy's,
basically.
yeah, whereas with Andy's it wasn't canon,
Mm-hmm.
so you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
for
who's
me,
your
yeah, for me, it's Gabe, but more so for his actions outside of the game. Yeah, I like the
um
beef, but I think that I don't know. I'm not on the I don't like the whole trolling after the game is done. Right?
yeah.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, I really do think he's achingly auditioning for season 50. Right? He wants to be,
Mm.
yeah, brought back in. He wants to be a villain. It also sort of tells me that he's not gonna be in the game for too long. Uh,
Yeah.
because if he had gotten to the final three, I don't think that he would be acting this way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming across as bitter,
Yeah.
basically. Like,
So yeah, for me. That's it. That's my goat of the week. I mean, they did purposely cast people who wanted to be villains. I mean, even Rome wanted to be a villain.
yeah.
Uh, wanted to make big moves. Wanted to do all of these things. Yeah. So but for me, Gabe just took it a step too far. Yeah. But it's not
This
for
is
things that he did on the in the episode.
I'm kind of at least in the new era.
Mm.
Um, what's her name? It was Venus that ripped off the band-aid
Mm.
because like she was the one that I can remember um that got feisty on social media. And like people were questioning, like, isn't this a violation of
The NDA.
the NDA? And well, apparently not. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
she didn't spoil anything really. She was
Yeah.
just kind of trolling everybody.
Yeah.
Um, but when
But
she did it was really cool.
yeah, but
It
didn't
was fun.
she? It was fun, and didn't she only start doing it after she got voted out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Right now, Gabe is technically still in the game.
Yeah.
Right. So you sort of don't want that their actions outside of the game to, like, for me, it really telegraphs the fact that he's not going to be in the game for too long. The
Mm,
fact that he's already trolling at this early, right?
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Venus, yeah, you're right. The way that she did it was fun. She was also having fun. Uh, for all we know, Rome and Gabe are actually doing this on purpose. They're
Yeah, just
actually
so
like
that they can get
real buddies.
more so they can get more eyeballs on their
Mm-hmm.
products.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's that's my theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my theory now. It's just a manufactured beef
True. True.
just so that we start watching like Rocket League.
It's gotten me interested in it. I'm gonna start looking for Rome stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Let's
there's
go.
actually on his Wikipedia page, there's like a list of the broadcasts that he was on.
Okay, I'll go
So
ahead
like
and check it out.
I'm sure it links to like a VOD somewhere.
Hmm.
Wait, yeah, it does link to VODs. Let me.
Oh, and yeah, I'm checking out his Wikipedia page right now. He's still in red in his
Yeah,
profile
he is.
picture.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, he has he's Pokemon.
I don't know. It looks like a knockoff Charizard.
Yeah, because like because apparently like in Pokemon like PvPs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
in in-person tournaments, it's like tradition for each person to bring a Pokemon plushie,
Oh,
and like whoever wins the set gets the plushie.
oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so it's like one of those little esports traditions, one of those sports traditions.
Mm.
It's becoming legitimate when they start having weird little traditions and superstitions like that.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll check out Rome's Wikipedia page more in depth later on. But for now, purple of the week. Who do you have for purple? Who or what do you have for purple of the week?
The merge. But this is a tribe swap.
Yeah, this is a tribe swap. But more so because of how it played out. I mean, like I said, it has happened in previous seasons where they were divided into two teams, right? But yeah, just because of how it played out, where Rachel was sort of left out. Yeah. Or is it really in your in your? It's always been a tribe swap in the new
Yeah,
era.
it was it yeah, in the new era, whenever they split up the tribe, like I always think to myself, this could have just been a tribe swap.
Mm. Do it much earlier in the season. Just do a tribe swap, which
Yeah, do
they
the tribe
did
swap.
during the Jam season. Right? Yeah, they did
Yeah,
do
but
that.
that was a completely half-assed tribe
Yeah,
swap.
yeah.
So it's like this is just a tribe swap, and you're merged once people start making the jury.
Mm,
And the twist is everybody is on one tribe for one night during the pre-jury phase or during
mm,
the pre-merge phase.
mm,
That's a completely new twist
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
instead of like merging them and
And then splitting them up again.
splitting them up
We did
again.
have
Yeah.
that. We did have that episode where we said that, especially when we saw that there were only two lanes, and that was the merge. It was right. The merge feast, the mergatory episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was the earn the merge, right? That was
yeah.
earn the merge.
That
And
should have been like a. It should have been a tribe swap from there, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that could have been it.
And
Yeah.
then the brand new twist was, oh, you're all voting as one tribe
Mm-hmm.
in the next tribal. And then, another tribe swap. And then if you make it past the second tribe swap, you're merged.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's not again, it's not a gameplay thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a naming thing that I find problematic.
Yeah. Because
Which is why,
when we hear the word merge, we don't expect them to be split up into two teams again, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm calling the merge the purple of the week because really it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Or it hasn't
Or
existed yet
they're
for this
yeah,
for this season. Yeah.
yeah. Or there's like a sort of reverse purple in a way, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like they're trying to show you something that isn't. It's what would be the opposite of purple? I don't know. Um,
Uh,
the
uh,
gaslight of the week.
the gaslight of the week. We're trying to show you something that isn't really there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For me, I'll go with a more traditional purple of the week. And traditional in the sense that it is actually a person. For me, the purple of the week this week was Sierra. We
Yeah.
didn't really see much out of her, despite the fact that she might just be. I mean, this is for me. This is a subjective thing. She's the most attractive female castaway in this season. I
Mm,
think that she might fade into the background from here on out. Right. But then again, you did say that next week might be her going against Sam. But for me, I
yeah.
she's fading out. We did get a lot of her, and because it was her and Sam, and at the start of the season, but right now she's fading out. Yeah. All right. So I guess that is it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. At any rate, this has been Joel Parkon.
And I'm Joe.
Oh, sorry. This has been Jeff Probst.
And I guess I'm dressed like Andy.
There you go. You're in yellow. Yeah, that
And
works.
I'm wearing the buff like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. All you need to do is like twirl your hair a little bit.
All right.
Uh, there you go. We hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.